Welcome back, Remodelites. It is Dave with Remodel Media, and in this episode of Quick Tip Tuesday, we're going to go over two really quick, easy, and inexpensive upgrades you can give your bathroom today. So the very first upgrade anybody ever wants to give their shower is a hand shower. A hand shower is useful for a couple different reasons. One would be washing out the shower. Number two would be washing off children, small animals, people that couldn't bathe themselves. And three, of course, is personal hygiene, getting areas, ladies shave their legs, things like that. Or men, if you want to shave your legs too, I don't judge. So what we're doing here is we're taking down this shower head and we're going to be replacing it with a Delta In2Ition 2-in-1 shower head hand shower combo. Links will be in the description below. The very first thing you got to do is you got to remove your old shower head. Now, you may be in a rental situation where you have to put that shower head back when you're done, when you move out. That's entirely possible. I know I've done that a few times. And one thing you don't want to do is damage the finish on the shower head that you're removing or the finish on the shower head you're putting in. There is a tool called a strap wrench that you can purchase. It's not very expensive, and I could be using that today, but you don't get as good a grip as you do with a pair of channel locks or groove joint pliers. Now, the challenge with groove joint pliers is they have these teeth that tend to damage the chrome or brushed nickel or whatever finish your shower head or other finished material could be. So I'm going to share with you a trick I learned from a plumber many years ago. You take your electrical tape, you wrap them around the teeth of your channel locks, and that protects the finish on your chrome fixtures. All right, so I've got right here, I've got my wrench all taped up. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab right here, there we go. Little lefty-loosey action here. Usually 1 or 2 turns is all you need with the wrench, and then you can undo the rest by hand. So you see this blue stuff right here? This is probably what's left of the original Teflon tape. Teflon tape is just a thread sealant. It keeps things nice and tight and locked in place and keeps things from developing leaks. So we're going to peel that off because we're going to put brand new Teflon tape on. And here we go. Good as new. All right, so the Delta In2Ition 2-in-1 shower head. It's a really cool device. It gives you a rain head, a hand shower, and 4 different settings on the hand shower, from wide to fine to pulsating sprays. And you can use the shower head and the hand shower together. You can use just the shower head or just the hand shower. So it all depends on how you want to do it. So in this here, we've got a hose. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but on this particular model, this is actually a smooth hose. It looks like a corrugated hose, but it's actually very smooth, which means cleaning is going to be a lot easier. So this piece comes in 3 basic components here. You've got the rain head. That's going to get mounted up there. You've got the hose I already showed you. And you've got the hand shower that locks in like that. First things first. Take our Teflon tape, thread sealant. You don't need much. So you can see we're just doing 1, 2 wraps. You're going to take the shower head. We're going to hand tighten it first. Again, righty-tighty. Going to grab the channel locks or groove joint pliers. Channel lock is a brand. Groove joint plier is the technical name. Kind of like saying Kleenex. Well, there we go. You don't want to over tighten it, but generally speaking, as tight as you can make it is usually okay. 5-foot hose, pretty standard. And each hose is going to have in it a hose gasket. That, again, just prevents any potential leaks. Now, because in this one we got the hose gasket, there's no need for the Teflon tape. We'll do this. Hand tight. I'm going to let that hang for just a second. We're going to give it just maybe a quarter turn with the wrench here. We're going to go, let's see, righty-tighty. If we were to turn it too far, we actually end up cracking something, either the shower head or the hose, the end of the hose, and we don't want either of that to happen. So you got your docking mechanism here. And now this is one thing that I want to point out with the polymer hoses versus the linkage style hoses. They do tend to retain their shape at first. Now what you'll notice is over time, this will eventually just sort of soften and sag and eventually stretch out. But at first, it's going to really hold its shape. So if you're that kind of person, then you look for one that has a metal hose. If you're a person that does not mind that kind of thing and you just go with the flow, that's a plumbing joke. You're definitely okay with a polymer style hose. Take it for a test squirt. Here we go. You ready? Now, little mechanism on the side changes the flow from shower head only to everything to just the hand shower. Yeah. And neat thing about this hand shower is it does have a couple different spray settings, as I'm squirting myself here. So you've got your soft soaking spray here. You've got your standard everyday spray. You've got the concentrated spray. This is what you're going to use to get the conditioner out of your hair right there. There we go. I have in my hands here a Kohler Puretide Bidet function seat. Now we're going to put this on an elongated toilet here. Should be a straight swap out, and with a little bit of plumbing work, we'll have it up and running in no time. A couple of details about the seat. This is a basic seat, retails for around $100. The link will be in the description below. But you just need to know there is no power associated with this, so there is no warm wash. But if you're looking for just a simple upgrade, something to eliminate the need for toilet paper, cut down on waste, and just be a little more eco-friendly, this is the way to go. The best way to do this would have been with a Phillips head screwdriver, although I did most of it by hand. I used a pair of scissors to get it started because I don't have a screwdriver. Well, I have a screwdriver, I just did not bring one with me. So here we go. Toilet seat uninstalled. Woo, fancy, fancy. I'm going to show you guys the detailed instruction booklet that came with this particular unit here. Kohler, you guys are on top of it. Step 1, install the mounting plate. Step 2, install the seat. Very straightforward. Step 3, complete the installation. Thanks for the detailed specs, you guys. Appreciate it. Mounting plate. This just goes over those holes we just uncovered. And we got a couple of bolts here to hold that in place. Let's see, water connection, seat bolts. You're going to reuse your existing water supply line. So do not take that off and do not throw that away. You'll simply disconnect the existing water supply line from the hose, and you will thread it in right here. And this is going to screw to the bottom of the tank where your water supply line is. And then this is going to connect this to your seat. And underneath that cap, boom, is a little sediment filter. So this little plastic piece, do not lose it. You'll try. I don't want you to. Okay? Okay. Little pieces like that like to fall down, roll away, roll down the drain, and it's not a good idea because sediment gets in there. You'll get buildup. Your jets won't work. You can't wash yourself. And that's no fun. So here we go. Step one. A mounting plate faces up like this. This is up. That is down. Smooth side down. Track side up. With the opening, you see there's an opening and there's a closed side. Opening goes towards the front of the toilet. Okay? Okay. Here we go. Look at that. It's almost like they planned it. This little guy right here, he's happy as a clam right about there. And this piece goes underneath. This piece goes in. We start by hand tightening. We don't want to tighten it too much because we want to put the other pieces in first. Then we tighten them down all the way. All right. So one of the things that you'll notice is that these things are slotted. Now, the reason that these little white discs here, these white inserts, are slotted are so we will be able to slide this back and forth, because even though elongated is pretty standard, it's not 100% standard. So you will occasionally run into one elongated toilet that's a little longer than others or shorter than others. So having a little bit of adjustability is actually really smart on Kohler's part. Here comes the fun stuff. The plumbing. Very astute people who have been paying attention are probably screaming at the monitor right now, Dave, you forgot to turn off the water. No, I didn't. I just didn't do it yet. So obviously before you unhook anything, you're going to turn this water supply off. Now this one is a very nice one actually. This one is a quarter turn. So you notice that you just turn it once, righty-tighty, boom. So with a quarter turn angle stop, when the handle is across from the water outlet, you know that it's off. When the handle lines up with the water outlet, it's on. With some older angle stops, you might have to turn this sucker a couple of times to make sure it's shut off all the way until you crank it righty-tighty all the way. So kudos to whoever thought to put this in. Now one thing I might recommend, give it a courtesy flush here. The reason you're going to do that is there's still water in that tank. You start jiggling things, you could get some water on your hand. Not a big deal, but who wants toilet water on their hands? And remember what I said about having water in the tank? Yep. That's okay. Actually, a little known fact. If you're ever stuck in an emergency situation, such as an earthquake that has shut the water supply off to your house, then if you really, really are desperate and you need to get some water, one of the places is the toilet tank. Not the toilet bowl, the toilet tank. Because this water is basically tap water. So if it's get water or die of thirst, I'm picking toilet water. There was an episode of The Walking Dead where they did that. I thought that was pretty smart of them, showing a very realistic survival tactic. Whoop. And we'll need to get a towel in here before we're done. But remember that little silver piece I showed you? Well, that's where this is going to come in. Now I'm going to, once again, take my handy dandy Teflon tape, wrap it around a couple times. You actually don't want to do too many passes with the Teflon tape. You actually build up too much thread, too much tape in the threads, you actually run the risk of having a leak. Nobody wants that. Where's the little white piece I said not to lose? Oh, there it is. See what I mean? They like to get lost. They hide, they run. They're gremlins. So what I did here is I just hand tightened that thing to the fill valve, and then we're going to hook the water supply back up right here. You know what another name for the fill valve? It's also referred to as the ball cock. True story. All right. I think we're good. We got everything nice and tight there. Now, that's the hard part, really. Right there. Now this is the white supply hose that came with the Kohler bidet seat. We're gonna make sure that's just tight enough. Now you see this little gizmo right here, this little slider? That happens to be exactly the same size as this little open space right there. And guess what? There you go. So now all we got to do is we find our gremlin. There he is, the little water filter, sediment filter. We are almost done. We've got our little gremlin filter in there. Oh, cool. Hold on. Look what I just found. There's a hidden switch on the side right here. So if you ever need to service or do anything like that, you can do like that. So what I'm going to do is what I should have done is tighten this first, then install it. Woo! Hello. So as you turn this handle, it goes from low to high. So I just turned it off. Apparently I had bumped it into the on position. There's your squirter right there. So just going to make sure we have full range of motion. If you want to peek over my shoulder, you can do that. So as we turn, here we go. There it is. So one fully functional bidet. Oh, look at that. The water shot all the way out here. So you can see it's got good pressure. In fact, I remember the first time I sold a bidet. I was a sales assistant at the time, and the salesman that wrote the sale up, he got a call shortly thereafter. Now this was a full functioning bidet, French style, with a bidet separate from the seat, or separate from the toilet. And a lady called up to complain, and we were trying to understand what she was saying. What is the problem? Finally, she blurted out, "There's just not enough pressure." Or no. What she said was, "There's just not enough penetration." It's a true story. So you can see this one has, well, I'll leave it to your imagination. I want to do one more thing right here. Look at that slow close seat and everything. Now, one thing I wouldn't mind, just to be on the safe side, now this is something I recommend after every DIY project, especially one where the plumbing is not out in the open. Just throw a towel under there, just in case you did not turn everything 100% tight and there's just this imperceptible leak. What you do is you get everything cleaned up, right? You throw a towel under there. You come back in the morning or a few hours later, just double check. Make sure everything's still dry. If there's a slow leak, then you know that you can figure out where it's leaking from, and it's an easy fix. But anybody who's doing a first-time plumbing project, I recommend that. I had to learn that lesson the hard way, so I'm giving it to you the easy way. All right. Well, that's all we got for today, so I'll see you in the next one. Somebody put this shower head like 8 feet high. That Teflon tape wants to Cooperate. Well, a very wise person once told me the uninstall is usually harder than the install when it comes to putting in stuff in your house. Let's see. All right, hold on. There's something here that I've never seen. Probably not a big deal, but I want to see what's going on. I need to consult the manual and see what these things are. I'm not going to throw them away. I'm going to see what they are and what they do. And then if I don't like that, I'll throw them away. Just kidding.